Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Brian here at Red Leaf Ranch, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. If you've been following for a while now, you know I'm really into vegetable gardening, but I thought I'd finally give a crack at flower gardening. Now, I really love repurposing old materials and making it into something gorgeous and functional again. So I actually found this half barrel. It's really weathered, old, and rusty, and I actually want to repurpose it, make it beautiful, and turn it into a flower bed. I think it'd be a really great bed to experiment in since I haven't done that much flower gardening. So I want to walk you guys through my process on how I transform this seemingly piece of trash into something really beautiful. So let's get into it. So I have this like blank area here in front of this tool shed. We call it the sunflower shed because there's sunflowers painted on the top there. But I think it would be a really nice spot. It gets a lot of really great light throughout the day, and whatever I plant here would fill this red canvas really nicely. So I wanted to play on that and just fill this gap. I think it would be a really nice place to spruce up and give life. So that's where this half barrel flower bed is going to go. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is clean it out, give it a really nice rinse, and go from there. So the next thing I'm gonna do, which is probably the most important thing, is drill holes on the bottom of the barrel to give it good drainage. Every plant bed should have good drainage. You don't want your plants to sit in water for too long or else they'll just like choke out and die. So you want to make sure they're getting that good airflow through the soil and they have that time to breathe in between waterings. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna try using this drill. I'm not sure how effective it's gonna be. We're just gonna have to see what happens, but we'll find a way to get some holes on this barrel. Perfect. I think that should work really well for drainage. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is actually spray paint the outside a really nice matte white just to spruce it up and give it a really nice look. Alrighty. Oh, wow, that makes a world of a difference. And again, I really love how the edges are still rusted like this. It gives it a really cool look. But I definitely wanted the actual front and wide frame of it to be painted. I think it gives it a really nice refinement. Now, I just need to make sure it's definitely gonna be in place here because once I start putting soil in it, it's gonna be much harder to move. So definitely need to put it where I want it. I actually like it with a bit of a slant. I feel like it'll give me a good opportunity to actually like stack some plants. I'll explain more of that when we actually start planting. But just to make sure it doesn't like topple over, I think I'm gonna actually drill it into this structure, into the shed, just to keep it from toppling over. Whew. Alrighty, there you go. Now it's really nice and in place. So let's get some soil in there. Now I'm just going to be using this standard Stay Green mix of flower and vegetable garden soil. but I'm gonna add a few things to make it extra magic. Beautiful. Oh. Oh wow, it like fills it pretty much all the way. That's great. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Wow. It's gonna be so nice, y'all. So I'm also gonna be adding some mycorrhizae, which is a really amazing fertilizer, but it also adds a beautiful, beneficial balance of mycorrhizal fungi, soil bacteria, and just really wonderful things to help boost the life in the soil. It's my first year using it, but I hear nothing but good things. It should really help promote really beautiful growth in the plants that I plant in here. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some in there and work it into the soil. Now this stuff is like gold, so I'm gonna use it quite sparingly. This is already pretty juiced up with some really nice goodness, so this will do nothing but help. Awesome. Now I'm actually gonna go ahead and add a little bit more soil on top just to make sure it's nice and full. Oh my gosh, this stuff looks beautiful. Perfect. I really want it to be nice and full and luscious. Oh wow. That looks amazing. Now that our bed is full and I gave it all the goodness it needs, it's time to add our plants. All right, I had to throw on my sun hat. It's getting really hot out now and I just need the shade, but I am so excited to plant in here and just experiment with flowers. I'm no expert with flowers, but you know, I know if something's beautiful, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to see how all these plants do together. Today I'm gonna be working with some pentas, a really nice tall growing flowering plant. It gets about up to 22 inches high. So because it has this nice height, I think it'll look nice further back in the bed. And I'm definitely gonna be stacking. I mentioned it earlier before, and what I mean by that is I'm gonna plant everything so that it stacks accordingly. It'll give nice layers. So things that are much shorter and don't get that tall, I'm gonna put in the front. Things that grow to a medium size will go in the center, and more tall varieties of plants will go in the back to give that nice cascade of flowers, and nothing overshadows or towers over something else. So that way everything grows efficiently and effectively. So pentas will definitely be something that I put more along the back of the bed. Now, I've been really obsessed with dianthus recently. It's just such a beautiful plant. It gets these beautiful bursts of flowers, and it comes in such a beautiful array of colors. Pink, burgundy. This one's white with a red tint in the center. It's so beautiful, and they smell incredible, almost like cinnamon. Really nice and sweet. This one is called Coconut Surprise. Really beautiful. Now, something else I'm also gonna be throwing in the back is this beautiful red charm calla lily. It just really caught my eye. It is so gorgeous. These really beautiful burgundy blooms, and these speckled leaves are really interesting. I don't feel like I've seen that much in calla lilies, so I think it'll bring a really nice element to the bed. In the front, I'm gonna be planting some really beautiful diamond frost euphorbia. Much more subtle in its foliage, but I love the speckling of white that it gives with the flowers. I think it'll give a really nice different elements in the bed, so there's a lot of textures going on. Really excited to see how that turns out. And in the very front of the bed, I'm actually going to be planting some chamomile. With its, it'll give some really nice ground cover in the front. And with the way it droops over, I think it'll look really nice hanging over the edge of the bed. I'm really excited. I just want to plant it now. So let's get to it. What I'm actually gonna do is, before unpotting everything and just going in, I'm just gonna start laying it out to get an idea of what it's gonna look like when I actually plant everything. Oh my gosh, I already know it's gonna be so beautiful. I think the chamomiles can be spread out quite a bit. That's gonna be gorgeous. Oh, and these will fill in right here so nicely. Wow. I only got 2 of these. I didn't think I would need that much. Let's see. Now the dianthus doesn't get as tall as the calla lily and the pentas. So I think it'll be really nice in the center here. See, I got 2 of those, right? Thought I got another one. I guess not. I think those would look really gorgeous there. The pentas. And it's so interesting because it's gonna look so different once it's actually planted, but I think the pentas back there would look really nice. Gorgeous. And the calla lilies right here to give a nice extra burst of color on the corner. And you know, as everything grows, it's gonna fill in so nicely, but I think this is the layout I'm gonna go for. I am gonna try and get the most out of this bed. I got a little carried away at Lowe's. And I actually got bulbs for lilies and dahlias as well. And I'm thinking, you know, as these things start to fade away in the summer and fall, I think the dahlias and the lilies are really great things to fill in over the summer and the fall, just to keep the interest going throughout the bed. It is a really nice deep bed, so I think everything will work well in here. Only time will tell, you know? So I think this looks fabulous. Let's start planting everything. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. It smells so good. And if y'all know chamomile gets really big over time and it spreads out a lot. So I'm gonna space them accordingly so that they have the opportunity to fill in the gaps in between. And I'm also gonna have a really nice mix in here of perennial and annual plants. Perennial plants being plants that will come back year after year. Curious to see how that works in a raised bed though. I feel like they're much more effective in an actual bed in the ground, especially when it comes to like winter time and overwintering the bed. This can get a lot colder than the actual ground. So we'll see how all of that goes. But I think it'll do really well. But I'm also mixing in some annuals too, just to keep the bed ever changing. So every year there'll be a chance to switch it up. These actually get a bit taller. So I'm thinking maybe these here with that, or vice versa. I think I'm gonna put the calla lilies over here because these won't get that tall. So I think there'll be a nice balance there, and place these over here with the euphorbia. Oh my gosh, guys, it's coming together. These there with the calla lily there. Dianthus in the center here. Calla lilies. And again, I am gonna leave some room in the back to be able to plant some lilies and dahlias, because those can get real big. So I think it'll fill in the space there really nicely. Really nice and deep. I really love that the wheelbarrow, or I really love that the barrel is really nice and deep. I think it'll really allow for all these things to grow to, you know, a much fuller potential. Oh, beautiful, that looks gorgeous there. Now I am keeping in mind to space things out just a tad, because they will get nice and wide eventually. You want to make sure they have that room they need to grow. But I know I really am pushing it with putting so many plants in a bed, but I think it's just gonna look so good. We just gonna have to wait and see, aren't we? And euphorbia is such a beautiful plant. We have a wild variety that grows here, and a lot of people view it here as a weed, because it does grow quite wild and it can take over for sure, but it's such a beautiful plant. So it was really cool to see a different variety of it at the shop. Oof, she was ready to expand. Actually, this one seems taller. I'm actually gonna put this one in the back. You can already see some of the blooms here on the pentas, and it's just such a beautiful, deep red color. I'm excited to see it in full bloom. Ah! Oh my gosh, that looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, guys. Now, I know spacing is very important, but what I'm gonna do just to ensure that, you know, they all grow happy and healthy is just give it a lot of food, so they won't feel as much of a need to compete, because there's just so much fertility and goodness in the soil. So I really hope that helps them, you know, reach their full potential, because imagine this just filled in with all that beautiful foliage and those flowers. It'll look spectacular. Oh my gosh, this dianthus smells so good. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so nice here. I can't wait. And these just get so full and so gorgeous. And I love the blue tint in the leaves. It gives a really nice different element of color there. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Now, the calla lilies only get about 2.5 feet tall, which isn't too tall, but it is taller than the dianthus. Oh my gosh. Ready to expand. So I think it'll give a really nice layering there. Wow. Y'all, this looks gorgeous. This looks gorgeous. I repeat, this looks gorgeous. And as time passes, again, it's gonna fill in so beautifully. Okay, and now, let's see. I think I'm just gonna have to limit it to one, either the lilies or the dahlias. Oh. They're both so pretty. I think I'm gonna do the dahlias. These I'm just gonna have to plant. I think I'm gonna do these in a container. I think they'll do really nice in there. They're just so gorgeous. Look at them. But so are these dahlias, and I think this color palette especially would do really well amongst these plants. So let's plant some dahlias. One of our dahlias back here as well. Y'all, I'm gonna get crazy. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try the lilies. They don't need that much room. I think they'll be fine. I'll just do 2 in here. All right, y'all, I may have gotten a little carried away, but that's the fun in experimenting. We're just gonna really have to wait and see how this plays out. But the other lilies that I have here, I'm definitely gonna plant in the container and see what happens. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is give this a really nice, deep water. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, this is looking absolutely gorgeous. Isn't it crazy to see how you can transform things like this? Now, the thing with raised beds usually is they tend to dry out very quickly. So the last thing I'm actually going to do in this bed is apply a layer of mulch to help retain moisture within the bed and have it go as long as possible. I think it'll also give a really nice final touch. Mulching a bed always makes it look really nice, really clean. So let's do it. All right, so to mulch this bed, I'm gonna be using some really finely ground up pine bark nuggets. I think it'll do a really good job. Let's toss this in. Work it around. It's crazy what a layer of mulch can really do. What I really like about mulch as well is here in Tennessee, especially where we live, there are a lot of, I don't even want to call them weeds, but you know, the native plants here, a lot of them spread seed through the air. So this will really help deter a lot of weeds from landing in the bed and growing. So it'll keep things pretty controlled. Wow, mulch is just amazing. Always recommend mulching. You can already see how beautiful the contrast is between the green and this red here. It looks so nice. Wow. Make sure you get a nice thick layer. Back here. Don't want to cover the bulbs too much though. Wow. Okay, one last little spritz just to moisten up the mulch, and I think we'll be all done. Well, now I just gotta wet that. Everything pop. Look at that. Look at that. It's gonna look like when it rains. How vibrant, how luscious it's gonna look. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. This is really incredible. My dream, like, it's so crazy visualizing something and then seeing it actually come to life. Wow. Just goes to show you, you can really transform anything and make it into something really beautiful and functional as well. I'm really excited to see how everything fills in. You can see the chamomile experienced a little bit of shock during transplant, but I'm sure once it settles in, it'll perk right up. But other than that, everything's gonna just fill in more and more every single day. I cannot wait to see. Obviously, I will keep you guys updated and show you how everything grows and blossoms and blooms. I can't wait. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you've enjoyed this really fun and special video and that it's inspired you to go transform something and turn it into a garden bed. There's a lot of things that you just have to get creative, and you can really make it something truly magical. I hope this has inspired you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think of this beautiful creation. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out, and please share this video to keep inspiring people to garden, because now more than ever, it is so important that we get our hands into the soil. And you know, when you transform things like this, you can really garden anywhere, which makes, you know, making beds like this really exciting. It just opens the world up to so much opportunity and potential. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I'm Brian here at Red Leaf Ranch. Take care, everyone.